Clark Kellogg. I'm Greg Gumbel, and welcome to the road to the Final Four, where the madness is lurking right around the corner as we head into March in the NCAA basketball tournament. Coming up, a college basketball tripleheader in our first set of games. Some of you will see 11th-ranked Kentucky taking on Tennessee. Others will see Temple against UMass. Then 4th-ranked UConn against number 20 Syracuse, or Kansas at Iowa State. And our tripleheader game that everybody will see, 3rd-ranked Michigan State. The Spartans, the Big Ten regular season champs, take on number 22 Purdue. But let's go back to that Kentucky-Tennessee game, Clark, which is for the SEC East Championship today. Kentucky's got a tough road ahead to repeat.
They really do. They haven't had the explosiveness they showed last year, but they do have 3 seniors, Evans, Turner, and Padgett, who are tournament tested and proven in championship play.
Well, yesterday, 3 teams made it into the NCAA tournament. The Samford Bulldogs won the TAC championship. Stanford wrapped up the Pac-10 regular season title, and the automatic Tennessee or Temple against UMass. We'll see you at the half. Enjoy the games, everyone, here on CBS.
CBS sports coverage of the road to the Final Four is sponsored by the Grand Am with solid form design. It's excitement well built from Pontiac. Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. And by First Union, your guide to the financial world.
They first met on January the 12th, Tennessee at Kentucky. A bruising game with a result that had Tennessee basking in the national spotlight and its fans savoring words they hadn't heard in 2 decades.
It is over. It is over. It is over. Tennessee 47, Kentucky 46. It happened.
Since that meeting, the Cats have lost some of their invincibility and must get back on track to defend their national title. Tennessee has gained national prominence and will move back into the top 25 if they can complete a season sweep of Kentucky today. The Wildcats and the Volunteers next on CBS. Well, they meet for the second time, Kentucky and Tennessee, and there's a whole lot at stake here as we close out the regular season and take dead aim at Selection Sunday just 1 week away. Kentucky and Tennessee will battle for the Eastern Division title. It all comes down to this one today. All square, 11-4 in conference play. The Wildcats and the Volunteers. Meanwhile, on the other side, Auburn easily claiming the Western Division, even with its loss earlier this week to Arkansas. And welcome, friends, Jim Nance, Billy Packer. Good to have you with us. And Billy, with Selection Sunday just a week away, we know these teams are playing for the Eastern Division title of the SEC. What else is at stake for these 2 teams today?
I think 2 things. I think Kentucky to get that roll going. I mean, they've been in the Final Four, it seems like every year of the 90s, okay? And for Tennessee to establish the credibility of their program moving in with the upper echelon teams, not only in the SEC, but in the country.
All right, Billy. Tubby Smith in his 2nd year at Kentucky led him to the national championship. Year 1. Jerry Green, his 2nd year at Tennessee since coming over from Oregon. He will take the Vols to the NCAA tournament for back-to-back years for the first time since 82-83. Here are your lineups, and take note of number 5 for Kentucky as Wayne Turner becomes the all-time Wildcat today, appearing in a uniform for 144th time. That's an all-time mark, breaking Jared Prickett's previous school record. The game gets underway with Kentucky in control. Hashimu Evans fires from the outside, and a foul underneath. When these 2 met on January the 12th at Rupp Arena, it was, as we mentioned earlier, a bruising game. Both teams shot around 30% from the floor, and every bucket was hard-earned.
Jim, Kentucky was 2 for 17 of 3s in that game. So here we have 2 now for 18 against Tennessee. If Kentucky has a weakness, it's the lack of consistency from the 3-point line.
The Tennessee team with a 19-7 record. Kentucky 22-7, and out of the AP top 10 for the first time in 5 years. As of this week's poll, they dropped back in the AP to number 13. Wharton. And Evans pulls it away for the Wildcats.
Turner saw that pass from half court.
Padgett makes the move to free himself in and out. And the tie-up with the arrow belonging to the Vols.
Jim, I'm not so sure Turner shouldn't have hit ahead to Padgett as he crossed over half court. Padgett might have been able to take it with the dribble, have a much easier shot to the basket. This Harris-Turner matchup with great quickness in the backcourt. Turner, one of the best defensive guards in the country. Be interesting to watch this matchup right here.
Here he is, Tony Harris against Wayne Turner.
And Allison also an excellent defender. So
C.J. Black for the game's first points.
young man has had outstanding games in his career against Kentucky. He's got that wide upper body.
Michael Bradley wanting to work inside. Kicks it out. Sloppy, but Kentucky controls, and there's Bradley. Waits, and fouled on the shot.
Interesting matchup switch here by Jerry Green. He's got Harris guarding Paget. Now, he likes to play and is probably more accustomed to playing the low post man defensively. And that's what puts Black over there on Bradley down in the low post. So he's given up, Black's given up quite a bit of size.
A foul on Brandon Wharton. And Michael Bradley, the sophomore from Worcester, Mass. Hits the first of two.
Bradley having all kinds of problems from the foul line this year. Under 50%, look good on that.
Both of them.
Kentucky's full court pressure. Bradley all the way back. Nobody guarding the man out of bounds. Harris figures he can beat the press by himself with the dribble. You notice there was no double team with Trappin on that press. Just straight man-to-man pickup.
And a push on the outside called against Desmond Allison, freshman from Tampa, Florida. Boy, how he'd like to go home for the Final Four, as we're on the road to St. Pete, Tropicana Field. So 2 on Allison, and Ryan Hogan will come in for him.
Well, one of these two teams, it's possible to get here, isn't it? Knoxville, a site of a regional.
Yeah, they'll host the South Regional here in Knoxville.
Boy, some really good matchups here. Evans and Lee. Nothing close to an outside shot yet for either team.
And the push-off called against Torrey Harris. I'm sure Kentucky wouldn't mind playing here, but Tennessee wouldn't be allowed to.
That's right. Tennessee cannot play on their court, but Kentucky would love to come in here. I'm sure they'd bring a ton of fans over to Knoxville. And you know what? Being an SEC team, as much Tennessee people don't care for Kentucky when they play them, they might root them through here.
We got Kentucky going somewhere else, though, Billy. They're going down to New Orleans. Let's face it. Ryan Hogan launching one. Hold net.
Not a good shot selection by Hogan. Now, I think they need to pop back inside to Bradley. Get something started inside and then come outside.
We like those old nets after they go through the rim first.
Wharton beats Hogan easily on that break. Pretty nice catch by Black. Oh, and it drops. Plus one. Jim, that was a very difficult catch. You're running full speed. He got that one backhanded. Watch this catch. Terrific job. Low on the floor, and he still reached down there, got it, and put it in. Excellent play.
Paget whistled for his first. They're still talking about a screen that C.J. Black set on Ron Mercer here a couple of years back.
He's now the all-time shot blocker for this for this Tennessee team. There he is down inside. I think it's a good move by Kentucky to go to Paget.
Bradley called for traveling.
Get that ball down the low post. McGlure comes in, Bradley out. Now, McGlure, not quite the offensive player Bradley is, but he's been playing very well of late. Harris knows he's quicker than Hogan. It wouldn't be bad to try to take advantage of that matchup.
Wharton misfires, and there's McGlure with the strong rebound. Paget steps in for 2.
I realize Harris is a defensive stopper, Jim, but Paget, you look at this game right now, there are some matchups out here that both of these teams can take advantage of. I think Pageant on the outside with Harris, and I think that both the Tennessee guards can use quickness against Hogan.
Lee thought about it. He's been on a recent hot streak.
There's that quickness.
Harris should have just taken the shot.
Should have shot. You're right.
Turner takes the middle, 3-on-2. Right wing to Evans. Beautiful move.
Great stop off that pass by Evans. Turner had a nice 3-on-2 fast break. Made the right decision.
Harris gives it up again. And a whistle and a charge.
Jim, kind of interesting. Harris on the first play should have put one more dribble. He had himself an easy layup, but you don't fault the guy for overpassing.
Our first break here in Knoxville. Kentucky with the early edge. Next Sunday, 6:30 Eastern time. And Winthrop, the winner of the Big South. And if you missed it yesterday, we've already got a first-round matchup, not to take it away from the committee. But in Charlotte, it makes a lot of sense. Duke against Winthrop, first round.
Jim, I'm against that. I think a team like Winthrop should get a chance to go to the most exotic place. I mean, it's a one time in your life. You don't need to ride 15 miles up the road to the gym you're playing in.
But you know they will.
Well, I'm
you
not
think they will?
No,
Okay.
I'm trying to fix that idea.
All right.
Hathaway in the game, given more size.
And a whistle. Isaiah Victor inserted into the game along with Charles Hathaway for the Volunteers.
Jim, when you have a game like this where both teams have a hard time scoring within their normal sets, I think you have to become a little bit more selfish and get the ball in the hands where you have the mismatches. Now, Hogan defensively is going to have his hands full with a guy like Harris. Now, he comes out of the game and Prince comes in. In either case, they've got a tough matchup in the backcourt with one of those two quick guards. See if those guards can't get off for Tennessee. In the same way with Kentucky when Bradley had a smaller man playing him in the low post. I think you've got to go to a guy and see if you can get him hot.
Jules Kamara in for Kentucky, along with Tayshaun Prince. Also witnessed Vincent Yarbrough in for the first time for Tennessee, the freshman, number 22. McGlure way out. My goodness. Lucky to even hit any portion of the glass.
I have never seen one hit that high up on the backboard on a jumper from 16 feet. When you talk about a touch, that one almost went over and to the right. That missed by what, 3.5 feet? That's not McGlure's game, and he knows that. And he's been playing so well of late. I really want to credit him. He started out, as we all know, in a real funk this year at the University of Kentucky, but has done the job of late.
Just a little bit high and away.
Yeah.
Hathaway with the rebound.
That would have been in your game a shank.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of size on that floor for Kentucky now. You talk about a big team.
Wharton whips it inside, and Victor couldn't hold on to it.
Kamara with a good reach inside. It's going to be hard to get something down and low against this club.
Turner doing what he does best.
Absolutely, and he took advantage of Harris. Not only does he penetrate well on that particular move, but with those long arms, Turner has the ability to go over another guard.
Harris with the three. This is the first sellout for the Vols men's team since '91, but they haven't done anything to stir the crowd to this point.
Again, Jim, you have Harris with Turner guarding. Wharton's the guy right now. He's got Prince on him. There he can use his advantage. Steal by the man who holds the record. Yarbrough had 7 steals this year against UNC Greensboro.
Victor, three-pointer.
Well, he wanted to show McGlure that big men can shoot from the outside. shooting percentage, does Victor.
9-8 Kentucky.
Trying to invert the guards in the big men. Prince outside, guards inside, Evans particularly.
Six on the shot clock. Turner, savvy senior, he knows it. No whistle.
Good rebound.
Yep, Yarborough. Prince with the steal.
And what made that was Turner with the behind-the-back steal. Again, Tennessee not taking advantage of where they've got a matchup advantage.
Tennessee has won 5 straight games in the SEC. 5-game winning streak. That's their longest in 10 years. 5 straight league wins, that is. And they haven't won 6 in a row in the SEC since 1982.
The first meeting this year, Wharton was their leading scorer with 14, figuring it's a 47-point game. That's a lot of points in that game. He's hardly touching it here today.
Saul Smith in for Turner, directing the Kentucky offense. Bradley to Padgett for the dunk.
Kentucky playing with 4 big men out there. 6'8" or better. Solid screen coming up. Pretty good talk by Bradley to let Saul Smith know that the screen was being set.
Rejection by Kamara.
Terrific timing by Kamara. Isaiah Victor thought he had the turnaround jumper, and Kamara went up there. Terrific block. Watch this timing. Sensational play. Kentucky's playing right now, what, 6'9", 6'10", 6'10", 6'8", and a guard.
Kentucky big lineup. They used that a lot in the first matchup with Tennessee, and Bradley slams home another one.
And there's a case where Hathaway not as good a position defender as is Harris. Good job by Bradley putting him on his hip.
Yarborough outside for a 3.
Turns and talks to Tubby Smith on the way down court. Does the freshman.
And youngest player in Division I basketball. 17, Bradley. Banks it home. He's got 6. Yarborough again, back-to-back.
Yarborough was 0 for 7 and 6 points in 34 minutes in his last 2 games, and they are really getting some good inside post play. Yarborough, now that's what, 2 straight rebounds, 2 straight jump shots.
Tennessee, just a moment ago, down 5, can now take the lead. Lee.
Oh, no block out by Bradley.
Hathaway. Oh, they had their chances, and Bradley clears. Prince to Kamara. Oh.
Freshman. Beautiful hit-ahead look. How about that soft catch, Jim, and over the top of the head? Kamara has really given Tubby Smith some excellent minutes here off the bench. Hathaway's tired.
Can we get a third? Not this time. Smith, good move. Rejected by Victor.
This is really some pass and catch over the top of the head. Kamara had a great feel for the court. As I said, freshman to freshman here. That is quite a play.
With presence. We've reached the midway point of the first half. And on that gem, Kentucky leads by 3.
Well, Well, Jim, we take a look at some of those teams on the bubble. UAB, a team that they say on the bubble. DePaul right there playing UNC Charlotte. Both of those teams could be in the bubble. Winner could mean something. I think Mississippi State should be in there with Ole Miss. I mean, they're right sitting on the
Why don't you add
together.
them? Why don't you add them?
Well, let's put State on there. And
There you go.
this ACC fourth place, two teams have a chance to create their own destiny. Wake Forest, NC State. They play today, and they probably will match up against each other the first round of the ACC tournament as well. The winner, if one were to win two of those games, I think that they would be in the NCAA tournament. If they split, neither one of them may make it.
Over the back. Yep. Called on Bradley. Looks like the SEC has 5 right now in locks.
Hey, you look, you know, last week we were talking about Arkansas being on the bubble. They said, God almighty, if we could only win one against Auburn or Kentucky, you know, because we got the Alabama game. They beat Auburn and Kentucky, and Alabama takes them. Good low post there by Black. Boy, he takes up a lot of room.
Well, you got to figure Kentucky and Tennessee, Auburn, Arkansas, and Florida are in with Ole Miss and Mississippi State on the bubble. Which would give the SEC 6 if one of those two made it.
Good quick move by Evans on the inside.
C.J. Black called for that one, his first. Tuesday on CBS, a child's brutal murder leads to the relentless pursuit of a killer. Trisha Yearwood guest stars on a powerful all-new Jag Tuesday on CBS.
Evans, the 80% free throw shooter, almost twice as high as Bradley. But Bradley hit his 2, and Evans misses the first.
Saw Tubby there for a moment earlier this week, named as an assistant to the USA team for the World Championships, an assistant to Rudy Tomjanovich.
That'll actually be, Jim, for the qualifying by the United States, because we didn't participate in the World Championships, so it's the qualifying down in Puerto Rico to have the right to be in the Olympics, which he then would be a matter of, and I would assume the American team will qualify, and he will then be an assistant.
That same coaching staff
for the Olympics. Quite an honor.
The other assistants, Larry Brown and Gene Cady. Yarbrough. Well, he hit 2 in a row, and his last 2 have been well off the mark.
Nice job by Yarbrough, intercepting or at least deflecting that pass.
Prince, he was squared up, ready to go.
Bradley holding his own in there against the older, more experienced Black. Black plays tough on him. Talked about that crunching block that he had, but Bradley sandwiched.
Wayne Turner back. Prince will rest.
So far, Wharton has not been a factor in this game.
Not at all.
Nope. And they need him to score if they're going to break down Kentucky's defense. Kamara doing a nice job. Some nice decisions there on his part.
Good play by Yarbrough. Reach in and steal it.
That's the 3rd steal for Yarbrough in this ball game. He's got great anticipation.
Lee backs it home off the spin move. What a boost the last week. 37 points in the prior 2 games.
That's a bad matchup for Tennessee. And that's what I said before, Jim. Take advantage where you have the right kind of offensive matchups. Now, Evans saw that immediately. Harris not quick enough to stay with him.
That's the second on Torrey Harris. Kentucky, 7 national championships and the most all-time wins. Now with an 11-win gap over North Carolina.
How about that Duke creeping up there on St. John's to tie him with a win and a loss there yesterday. Duke with a very impressive victory at the only team that beat them last year in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Beat North Carolina rather handily in Chapel Hill.
Biggest loss ever at the Dean Dome for the Tar Heels. Well, you will give me Duke at Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
As the one seed, okay.
That one.
All right.
Oh, I'm just saying, a bunch of kids play hard all year long. And a school like Wingate, you get in the NCAA tournament. Like
Winthrop.
Winthrop, and you say, you know, I'm gonna travel a little bit.
You think the road to the Final Four should be more than 16 miles?
Yeah, than 16 miles up the street to a gym.
Victor. Could have taken the shot.
Well, what Tennessee players have to realize that with the size Kentucky has in the game, they're overpassing when they get down in the interior.
It's happened a couple of times already. Kentucky still in front by 3.
One roof.
Kentucky with a 3-point lead and trying to snap, believe it or not, a 3-game losing streak on the road in the SEC. They had gone 2 years without a road loss in the league, and now they've lost 3 in a row.
Jim, when you look at it, and I mentioned it last week in Arkansas, when you look at this schedule Kentucky has played, and they've been drained. 8 guys have been on to the NBA in the last 3 years off their club. It is phenomenal, the season that they have had this year. And losses within the league that's going to send as many as 6 teams to the NCAA tournament. Really nothing to say that you failed on, particularly on the road, as aggressive as some of these teams are and as hard as it is to play in some of these arenas. My first assist of the year. How about that? Right to the you see where I hit him right in the hands?
Did you have any at Wake Forest, by the way?
I never threw to anybody. I always... Bones McKinney used to say, I can't let him take the ball out of bounds because he won't even pass to anybody.
You shoot it from out there.
Try to shoot it from there. That's a pretty good catch, so you got to admit that.
Yeah, one-handed. Showed me something. Badgett, back and forth. 3-second violation. I don't understand how Kentucky, with the schedule it's played this year, has such a poor RPI ranking. And I only mention that because that is something that is taken into consideration. They're 13th in the country, and they've played 6 teams that have been ranked in the top 11 when they played them.
Yeah.
Harris, 3.
Got it. That was downtown.
That ties it.
And Jim, you talk about breaking streaks. Back in 1950, Tennessee beat Kentucky's streak of SEC wins at 67 straight. I'm not talking about on the road or at home. I'm talking about overall wins.
McGlure, again, well off the mark.
Now, McGlure has got to be patient. Rebound, play defense, maybe get some putbacks, not try to create low post action, or certainly not jump shots from 16 feet either. Wharton. That's the matchup I talked about earlier.
Monday on CBS, an all-new night of comedy starting with Cosby, followed by...
That was a shooting foul. Didn't realize Tennessee, it wasn't a shooting foul. Tennessee not to the point where...
It was the first on Evans. Bradley swipes it away. Bradley already with 5 rebounds. They're on somewhat the same scoring pace as the first matchup.
Hey, Isaiah Victor doing a pretty nice job defensively outside.
Evans with the follow-up after a rare Bradley miss from the field.
Now Evans, of course, went to his strong hand, his left hand. It was in a perfect spot that Black couldn't get to him. Black, as I said, the leading shot blocker in Tennessee history, but couldn't get to that one. Nice curl.
Will they count it? No, they'll wave it off outside.
Second time today that Black has made a great catch inside on a tough pass to catch and put it in.
Second on Evans.
Look at, he catches that one in traffic, follows up on through.
Crowd wanted that one to count. They're in the 1-and-1. Evans picked up 2 on back-to-back trips.
I would have agreed with the crowd. The Black is an odd combination. He leads in shot blocking and also in free throw shooting. You don't find that combination very often in basketball. Nice backdoor cut. Pretty good job by Hogan staying with him. C.J. Black was wide open. Wharton realized it was his fault. Threw it just too high.
Yarborough and Hathaway return for Tennessee.
Now Kentucky probably has on the floor the best guard matchup for the Tennessee guards. Saul Smith and Turner out there together. Isaiah Victor showing me something defensively out that far from the basket.
Saul Smith kind of got caught, and wow, nice little wizardry there for 2.
He's shown on occasion that he can score.
5 minutes to go in the half. 4-point Kentucky lead.
Illegal screen outside on Victor. You see this drive by Smith on the inside. Good solid play. Tubby, we mentioned yesterday, excuse me, Roy Williams left practice and went to see his son play at North Carolina. Tubby earlier this week went to see Senior Day and see Gigi play down at
Athens, Georgia.
Athens, Georgia.
1-1.
Nice
Kicked
pass.
up and in by Padgett.
No block out.
Kentucky has its largest lead. 6-point lead and
Clock problem.
no.
And see Coach Green just screaming at Hathaway, block out down there. Just took for granted that he had the inside position, didn't put a body on anybody. So a closeout move by Turner, but Harris is just so quick. Gave the little pump fake for the jumper, and you've got to respect that because of his ability to go outside. Turner picks up the foul.
His first. Harris at the line. Tennessee.
You know,
Brandon Wharton has not scored. He's their leading scorer. 13 a game.
1-1. That's one of the things, Jim, when you've got that outside jumper and then that pump fake when a man comes out to try to close you out becomes so effective because he's got to come out there quickly, the pump fake, and then you just go on by. You don't have the jumper, as Turner does not have. People don't have to come out that quickly.
(25-21) Wildcats.
That's what makes Turner kind of special in the way that he still can get by with those penetrating moves without having the ability to make a guy play him honestly for his jump shot. Tennessee pushing Kentucky out pretty far in their half-court set.
10 on the shot clock. Smith penetrates. Good pass to Bradley, but traveled first. McGlure back in.
Smith had the right idea. He just couldn't get enough room and space to create the passing angle to Bradley cutting down the lane. Again, full court pressure, but with this solid screen on Turner, Harris will probably get the ball relatively easy. Now that's why Bradley came all the way down court. There he goes.
Turner reached in from behind and knocked it loose. For the latest news and notes on every Division I team, check out the college basketball team reports at cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online at keyword CBS Sportsline. 4 minutes to go, first half. 4-point Kentucky lead.
Yarbrough would like to get space for that jump shot. Here's Ward. This is a key
There
shot.
you go. At
Good
last.
shot.
Three-pointer for the senior being recognized today in his final home game. Bradley.
And Isaiah Victor on his hip. Go back to Wharton right now. See if he gets some kind of a string going here.
There you go, Billy.
That's it. He's not the leading scorer in the team for some reason. You know what I mean? We saw him had the nice stroke before. Let him work on it.
He called the win at Rupp Arena in January a similar type lift and inspiration for the basketball team like the football team here beating Florida. Prince will take the three. Harris runs it down. Turner back to defend. Prince rejects.
They've got to break the other way.
Steps.
Boy, Kentucky actually just didn't slow down enough to set up the passing angles. They were all hustling, though.
Jerry Green and the crowd here worked up now. Tight one.
22 against Pitt, 3 for 16 Duke, 2 for 15 Louisville, 2 for 17 Tennessee, 2 for 18 Florida. Those are losses, and that's three-point shooting. In wins, big wins, 8 for 17 against Auburn, 11 for 22 Florida, 9 for 18 Maryland. So that is really the factor for Kentucky. When they're playing well, they shoot well from the outside. When they're not, they have problems. Today, they are 0 for 4 from 3.
On the season, Kentucky ranks 11th in the league in three-point percentage.
And you know, you ought to credit Tubby Smith for being able to camouflage that lack of really perimeter shooting and getting scoring elsewhere. Because they just are not a consistent outside shooting ball club.
Coming up on Pennzoil at the half, Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg get you caught up on all the scores and highlights. And Al McGuire visits with Huskies head coach Jim Calhoun. Coming up on Pennzoil at the half.
Just what we expected, a tight ball game.
Tennessee's come back from 6 down now to take the lead by 1.
Tell you, Yarborough is a tough guy to get around and to shoot over. Really quick and has excellent defensive anticipation.
Pass lobbed in the direction of Paget and stolen away.
Saul Smith, not a good decision right there. Got caught up in the air. 3 big turnovers on his part here.
Wharton over Hogan.
That's the matchup that they can use. No way Hogan can stay with him.
Tennessee on an 11-2 run.
And in a low-scoring game, that's huge. Crowd getting to Kentucky a little bit too, wouldn't you say, Jim?
Absolutely. Come to life. Smith, turnaround.
Good comeback by Saul. He's playing aggressive basketball. Maybe a little bit too much so. He needs to calm down some. See, Harris recognized now. He's got a speed advantage here. He wants to go 1-4.
Takes the 3.
That's not what he wanted. He wanted to penetrate, get a little closer shot.
Smith, 3-pointer.
His dad turns his back and looks away on that one, Jim. Saul trying to do too much out there, playing much too aggressive.
An 11-second differential here. Game clock to shot clock.
I think they should get the ball over in Harris's hands and go back to that 1-4 with that matchup with Hogan.
22nd timeout called by Tennessee. Monday on CBS, Ray and his brother are on the road to meet their boy. How about Jerry Green and his reputation in college basketball after what he did at Oregon? Now about to take Tennessee into the tournament for the 2nd straight year.
Had the opportunity to work under Roy Williams at Kansas. Guy basically with the roots back in North Carolina, UNC Asheville. Actually went there before it was UNC Asheville. It was Biltmore College. You could see what the plan was to set up that advantage. Now it should go back. Get the ball back over to Wharton.
7 on the shot clock. Harris picked up by Yarborough, but he was on the baseline. They've turned it over a number of times in the paint today.
There was a situation, Jim, where you've got to put your best offensive player, if you're going to hold it down, against what would be your best mismatch defensively. And Tennessee didn't take advantage of it.
22nd timeout called by Tubby. Sue Whipple with 14.7 seconds left. Kentucky right behind UCLA in the number 2 spot, most NCAA championships. But I'll tell you an interesting race. The team of the 90s. Which team will it be? Will it be Duke, Kentucky? Kansas has the most wins in the 90s.
Well,
Kentucky's number 2.
But you've got two national championships
which
sitting there
has
with
to
Kentucky.
override.
Yeah.
And Duke.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I think Duke and Kentucky are the two teams, and the one that has the best run this year in the NCAA tournament would be the team of the 90s. I think more interesting is who's the coach of the 90s. We saw a guy yesterday, Bobby Huggins, that has to be put in that category. Considering what he's done in regular season wins and conference championships.
Hogan, 2 seconds, put back by McGlure, again too strong. We reach halftime in Knoxville. Tennessee beat them at Rupp Arena by 1. They lead here at halftime by 1 again. 30-29 Volunteers. Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg will be along with Pennzoil at the half right after this message and a word from your local station.
Stop, go, Pennzoil.
Hi, once again, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel. Welcome to Pennzoil at the half with the score down in Knoxville. Tennessee leading Kentucky by 1, 30-29. I'm joined by Clark Kellogg. You know, that halftime lead is good as long as those threes continue to fall, right?
Yeah, they've made 5, Tennessee has, and that's been able to negate the advantage Kentucky has had in the paint area.
Volunteers 12-0 when leading at halftime when they are at home. Meanwhile, in the Atlantic 10, the Temple Owls lead.
Is sponsored by Charles Schwab, providing people, technology, and support to help you gain financial control. Goodyear, innovators of run-flat technology. And by AT&T Net.working. Everyone and everything working together in a whole new way.
Tennessee leads 30-29 at halftime. Jim Nance, Billy Packer back here at the Thompson Boling Arena. And let's talk about the Arthur Anderson wise decision of the game, Billy.
Well, Jim, there are a number of decisions obviously made in a basketball game. I think Kentucky on the break showed one. Here we see the pass on the inside. Probably not a wise decision to throw something that close. But now watch Wayne Turner, who makes so many great decisions in the basketball floor. Coming down, he's got the 3-on-2 break. Great changeover dribble by Evans, and he puts it back inside. Terrific decision on the 3-on-2 break.
All right, let's examine now the Conseco stats of the first half. And take note, Kentucky has not hit a 3. They have a streak going now of 363 consecutive games with at least one made three-pointer.
Jim, let me point out something here. You've got a situation, Kentucky 0 for 5 from 3, Tennessee 5 for 11. That is 15-0 in a one-point game. How critical that is to get some perimeter shooting to have some balance if you're Kentucky.
Playing for the #1 seed out of the East Division in the SEC tournament later this week in Atlanta. Come in with 11-4 conference records. Bradley outside.
Oh,
wow.
nice touch.
Just hit that dead part right behind the rim.
Almost replay of Arkansas again with the ball just hung up on there. Fortunately for Kentucky this time, it went in. Allison back out in the ball game to start. Gives Kentucky more defensive balance in the backcourt.
Black backing in, and well, no one touched it. Kentucky ball. Kentucky had a lead of 6 at one time in the first half before the Vols closed out the half on an 11-4 run.
Bradley can't get any space.
DJ Black is hacked by Hashimu Evans, his third.
Black really did a good job that time getting up underneath Bradley. Bradley had no space and couldn't get rid of the ball. And that's where it's up to the guards to come back and take it out of his hands.
This Tennessee team opened the year with all 5 starters returning and ranked 9th in the preseason AP poll.
Well, it was Kentucky 1, Tennessee 2. Nobody thought about Auburn preseason.
Traveling.
Harris felt he was knocked to the floor.
But ranked 9th in America before a game had been played, preseason poll. They win here today, they certainly will climb back into the top 25.
Well, it'd be hard to believe there are 25 teams in the country any better than this. I think Kentucky's ranked too low, and probably Tennessee as well. There's a lot of personnel out here on this floor.
Padgett.
Good no-look pass.
finally stripped away. Wharton on the drive.
There was a good decision by Wharton because he knew that Turner is a very good defensive player, and he thought he might go for the block, so kind of cut him off stride there. Nice play. What I like is how the Tennessee big men can go out and play a guy on the perimeter, so you don't get any easy passing. And there's Harris talking about that perimeter defense.
Harris to the line for 2. Second on Paget.
When you have guys like C.J. Black and like Torrey Harris and like Yarborough that can go out and guard a tall man at the top of the key, you've got a real advantage defensively.
Harris, a sophomore, a Memphian who got away from the Tiger program there, a city that has produced a number of star point guards from Hardaway, Elliott Perry.
Young man was the newcomer of the year in the SEC last year. Tennessee has done a fine job getting top players out of the state of Tennessee of late. It's really been the nucleus and the basis of developing this program.
Let's see if Kentucky can settle down. They've turned it over their last 3 trips. Kamara, spin move. Put back by Allison.
Allison, just one of those kind of guys, gets in the right place at the right time. Talked about him in the Arkansas game. I think that he had an outstanding game there. A lot of quickness on the floor, and he really played well. And after Black made 2 sensational catches in the first half, he lets one get away from him there. Harris, Bradley down inside, doing a lot of pushing. And there's Harris. I said they're doing a lot of pushing, but I didn't mean knocking to the floor. The official caught that as well.
That's the 3rd on Torrey Harris.
It's a little more than a push.
Allison takes the outside jumper. He's got 5 points in the half.
As I said, Jim, he can do a lot of things out there. Very quiet player, but very effective. Kentucky with Allison and Turner on the outside. They've got 2 defensive stoppers now playing guard.
Allison makes the play at the other end also. Tie-up situation. Since he forced it, Kentucky gets the basketball.
Against Arkansas last week, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals. It's about as solid as you can get.
Kamara.
And there's no block out. Tough break for Kamara there, because I really think the foul could have been just as easy on Harris. Huh?
Absolutely. McGlure comes back.
The #1 guy you've got to block out is the shooter, particularly when he's facing the basket 16 feet away. Harris didn't do that. Got lucky.
22nd timeout. Difficulty inbounding. Tuesday on CBS, a child's brutal murder leads to the relentless pursuit of a killer. Kentucky closing out its home schedule. They had their senior night on Wednesday. My old Kentucky home as they honored the seniors.
So you play 4 years of ball at Kentucky and walk out in that center court and they're singing Old Kentucky Home. If that doesn't get to you, there's nothing ever will.
We've been there to witness that a number of times. And I tell you what, you don't have to be from the state of Kentucky to be moved by the playing of that.
Happy Chandler when he sang
Never
My
forget
Old
that.
Kentucky Home. Boy, you have tears running down your cheeks.
I'll never forget Happy before a Louisville game. Singing that song. Here we go. Kentucky now.
Oh,
Ripped away. Here comes Wharton. Rejected by Prince.
great defense on both ends of the floor.
Kamara from the outside knocks it down.
Another good decision by Wayne Turner. He could have taken a tough shot, saw the open man and hit it. Great defensive sequence by both clubs.
38-34 Cats. Harris steps in, lets it go. He'll go to the line for two.
Harris screams at his teammates, say, come on, let's wake up.
It's a team that really felt like it was going through some kind of awakening in its loss to Auburn this year, pummeled by the Tigers 92-60. And Isaiah Victor said afterward, we were just so embarrassed. We learned some things that we're going to have to, from this point forward, want the ball more than the other team. We're not going to lose a loose ball situation the rest of the year. And they said that was the point it turned around for them.
Well, you remember Jerry Green said before that game, we'll find out how good Auburn is. Remember, that was really the first game where Auburn played anybody of any significance. Cliff Ellis' team showed they belong that night and have since.
What did you make of their loss to Arkansas? What is that? Does that scare you? Is that a is that a real red flag going into the NCAA tournament that this team's vulnerable or not?
Not to me. I'll tell you what. I think that the way Nolan Richardson's kids played against Kentucky last weekend and the effort that they showed against Auburn and Kentucky, that's his final coach. I know Nolan's won national championships, but he hasn't done any better coaching than he's done with this crew. Just a terrific coaching job.
Prince, too strong to Paget. Soft touch.
Kentucky just out-battling Tennessee now.
Lead, 3.
And that's not the shot you want when you have somebody that's taking a lead on you.
And Kentucky had raced down to get position for the rebound.
Tubby looks like he wants his team to pick up the tempo.
What's the call here?
I don't know. I thought if anything it's a foul on Tennessee for knocking down the screener.
Saul Smith hit the deck.
What Tennessee wants, what Kentucky wants and Tubby Smith is for his team to push the ball up the court even quicker. Turn it into a real run-shoot game.
Well, they were down 1 at halftime, and they've now raced in front by 5. Well, a man so steeped in the tradition of Tennessee athletics making his final home appearance today. The voice of the Volunteers, John Ward, honored before the game. He's retiring after 35 years. At the end of the season, this is his final home game.
There's Ray Mears, the great Tennessee coach. There's John Ward right here. Ray Mears right there. John Ward announced 1,023 Tennessee basketball games.
I'll tell you, a classy move, too, was at Rupp Arena back in January when the Vols were there. Kaywood Ledford came out.
Yeah.
They honored Ward at midcourt, gave him a basketball signed by the Kentucky team, and the Rupp Arena crowd gave John Ward a standing ovation.
Well, nobody shows any more class than Kaywood. Kaywood, a sensational broadcaster as well. Two of the best.
Let's see if Kentucky continues to approach this with an up-tempo mentality now out of the break.
Jim, the thinking on that is if we're not going to be a perimeter shooting team, let's beat the other team down the court and be able to go inside.
There is inside Prince, caught underneath the basket. Second chance drops. That's their largest lead of the game, 7.
Prince with the big block. Remember that to negate what looked like a fast break opportunity. So Prince and Kamara, two freshmen, have been very important in this game. And Allison, let's not take anything away from him. 3 freshmen out there leading the way.
McGlure Left hand. Hey,
there it is.
got the touch in the second half.
This is quite a comeback by Kentucky. They have just taken over a ball game. Looked like Tennessee at the end of the first half was in control of it.
This Kentucky bench with 13 points and 12 rebounds has helped lift them to a 9-point lead.
Jim, Tennessee has an outstanding freshman group as well, but the Kentucky freshmen have taken over this ball game.
44-35 Cats. Caps in the Midwest region.
Best run they've had since 1979, 20 years ago. Magic Johnson, Greg Kelser, national champs.
A nice run. 13-1 run in this game by Kentucky, and Wharton puts it into a drought. Vols had gone 4.5 minutes without a field goal before that three.
And again, Kentucky's role here, push the ball up the floor, try to turn this into a higher scoring game. Very good strategy by Tubby Smith.
Paget from the outside with that touch we've watched now what seems like for years.
A little three-man weave. Basketball from the past.
Didn't amount to anything.
No.
6 on the shot clock, and Wharton back of the rim. McGlure.
Good hands by McGlure going up there and almost mistimed the jump, but those long arms pulled it down.
He could clear it.
He sure can.
Really, big time.
See again, see how Tennessee goes out, has their men play good defensive basketball on the perimeter, and that's what caused the frustration. Now, if you're a Kentucky guard and you get a McGlure out the top of the key with the ball being well defended, you've got to run out there and take the ball out of his hands. And boy, I'll tell you what, Dad just gave his son a little conversation. He said, don't stand still. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Don't stand there and look at the big man. Go get the ball away from him. Oh, great screening by Tennessee.
With a three. He's had 2 here in the last minute.
That was a terrific set play to get your outstanding shooter open. Tennessee, the better team in the half-court sets. Kentucky better when they can get running.
C.J. Black. Leg whipped him. Called for the foul. We're in Knoxville, Tennessee. The first sellout for a Tennessee men's game since 1991.
You doing a horse race or a basketball game? What's a leg whip?
I just saw it. And the tie-up. And the ball goes to the defender.
Now you see, again, Kentucky's having their big guys handling the ball a lot. Wayne Turner's got to come out there and get that ball in the half-court set. And this is which coach is going to win the battle here of strategy. Does Tubby get his team to push it up the court quicker? Does Jerry get them in a situation where they play half-court at a time?
Victor spins loose, and he'll go to the line. Evans with his 4th.
Isaiah Victor with a very good head fake before he made that move back to the right. Just froze the defender inside. Evans, of course, his big game of the year was that 31 against Maryland. Probably Kentucky's best all-around game of the season.
2 for Victor. Victor had 26 in a game against Memphis this year and won the game with a dunk with 16 seconds to go.
Jim, I was mentioning Kentucky's freshmen playing so well today. In the last 3 years, Tennessee has had 4 freshmen, and probably will have Yarborough this year make the all-freshman team. That's when you're doing some pretty solid recruiting.
Goes back to the O'Neal days here.
Yep.
I got to think Yarborough will merit that selection.
Yeah. Great double team.
Allison comes right back for a second time. Tough pass.
Overpassing.
Kamara to Turner to Allison, who steps in, gives it up. Prince, goaltending.
What a sequence of basketball that was. This kid Allison gets in the thick of everything. Ball hit the rim, which you can still block. I mean, hit the backboard, but it was on the way down. Boy, Wharton with his left hand, I thought could go ahead and turn the corner on that one.
Jumper by Victor drops.
Good elevation by Victor on that shot.
He's the one Kentucky kid on the Tennessee roster from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Allison to Kamara. And one.
Jim, the thing that impresses me so much about Allison, and we saw it yesterday, Pete Michael, a total all-around player. Can guard, can pass, can shoot. Competitor. Beautiful pass inside. This guy was kind of like an afterthought when he was recruited in terms of everybody knowing what a great all-around athlete he was down in Tampa as a football player and basketball player, but he really has tremendous potential as a basketball player.
Foul was on Victor and Kamara with the three-point play. Now with 8 on the game.
And right now, Allison down there trying to keep Wharton away from that jump shot.
Black. 3 Wildcats surrounded.
Black just can't get off the ground high enough to score against this jumping Kentucky clock.
Step. With the conclusion of this game, we will select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund, a tradition for a quarter of a century. 9.5 remaining. Kentucky leads by 6. This can slice it in half. Wharton.
Yarborough mistimed his jump.
Kentucky shooting 67% from the field in the second half.
And they've done that by the strategy Tubby Smith wants to push that ball up the floor. Good block out by Black. Guys are getting a little tired, Jim. 9 minutes to go. They're going to have to start substituting a little bit. Isaiah Victor getting a little slower going down court. Here he comes for the feed.
Backing in on Kamara to Yarborough. What a pass. Oh, and Smith.
Yep, they're going to call that. Now, one official has already signaled deliberate foul. Let's see if they're going to keep it that way. He signaled it deliberate. One official said deliberate, but they're not going to call it deliberate. There's no question that's a deliberate foul. Never made any action to get the ball. Watch it right here. In order to go ahead and not be deliberate, you have got to play the ball. And one official definitely crossed his arms. And Jerry Green's letting him know about it.
Well, it's a difference between possibly like a 5-point trip,
Absolutely.
2 free throws and possession. Who knows what you could have done with that? Black is 0 for 3 from the line today.
And Black, normally a very good free throw shooter. 83%.
83%. All misfires today.
As I said, that odd combination of being a shot blocker who also shoots free throws well.
They get 1 point on the trip.
1, which could have been 5. Little clock problem again. The clock showing just 15 seconds on one end. That official who called it deliberate, Jim, should have stayed with his call. Run right into the middle. He had the best angle. Well, wow. Now Tubby's going to go crazy on this one. Here's what happened.
He ran the baseline.
No, yeah, but see, the referee had said that he had called timeout before, so they ought to give that ball back to Kentucky there. That's a mistake by the official. That should be Kentucky's ball.
They had never inbounded the ball because the shot clock was
Right.
wrong. It said 15 seconds. I told him to stay. That's what he said right there.
They'll be hot.
Tennessee ball. Tubby doesn't win the argument. He had a good case.
I think that was just a common sense call. That should have been Kentucky's basketball.
Wharton got 2 cats to commit. Kicks it out. Harris 3. Got it.
Great,
Down to 2.
great shot by Harris. He looked Turner off. That little kid's a competitor too, isn't he? Big friend of Penny Hardaway from Memphis. Boy, he is all over Turner now.
A 9-point lead down to 2. 8 minutes remaining. Paget, 3-pointer. Long rebound to Harris.
Harris wants his big guys to get moving, but they're a little tired.
Can tie with a 2, take the lead with a 3. Playing for the SEC Eastern Division crown. Black, blocked by McGlure, back into the hands of Yarborough to tie it.
I've been giving Allison a lot of credit for his ability to have a nose for the ball. Allison likewise. Freshmen are really being impactful today.
22nd timeout, Kentucky. Tubby still not letting go of that one inbound violation. The Academic All-Stars recognize one player on each team for academic excellence. And for today's game, the All-Stars are Scott Paget, Kentucky senior, who will graduate this May with a degree in social work, 4.0 GPA in the fall. And Aaron Harris, Tennessee senior, Aaron Green, I should say, Tennessee senior, majoring in history.
You know, he was honored today, Jim. Aaron Green was, as he went out the center court with his parents. And he had tears in his eyes because he's not going to be able to play. And that's got to be tough.
The 4 seniors honored before today's game on the Tennessee side here on Senior Day can remember their freshman year when Kentucky came in here and waxed them by 40. McGlure, Kentucky back in front. They beat the Tennessee freshmen their first year by 40, the worst loss ever pinned on the Vols in this arena. Now here they are their senior year with a chance to beat the Cats and win the division. Wharton, jumper, tied again.
I tell you, we started before this game. Both will have #1 seeds. What does it mean? Does this game mean anything? Hey, I'll tell you what, for these kids,
Meaning they both have buys in the SEC tournament.
They are playing as hard as 2 teams can play. Not necessarily pretty basketball, but what effort. He walked it.
Yep, violation.
Harris with excellent defensive footwork there.
Cats have turned it over 10 times in this half. 6:32 remaining. Tennessee has stormed back from 9 down. We're all square.
Thank you,
The game is all tied at 53. Kentucky hitting a 3 in this half. It's 1-3 of the game. That by Desmond Allison. There again, Billy, you
27 points, Jim. You know, you're talking about 21 points rather. You're talking about 7 times 3 is 21. So here you have a tie score, and one team has scored 21 more points than the other in one phase of the game.
Tennessee possession.
And normally, as I pointed out earlier, when Kentucky does not shoot well from three-point land, they do not win the big games. Let's see if that changes today. Morton with Prince. Now, Prince got the long arms. There's Victor with another good post-up move.
Boy, he had an open shot, and really it was off the mark. He freed himself. It looked like it could be an easy basket. 6 minutes to go, all tied.
Good job by Harris fighting over that screen.
Bradley threatening at the back end. And Victor.
Isaiah Victor with some defensive play.
Bradley called for the foul. Billy, let's check out the CBS Sportsline stat of the game. Points in the paint. Well, this is kind of a neutralized your three-point shooting, right?
Well, it's a tie game. One team has a 21-point advantage in threes. The other one has a 20-point advantage in the paint. So it's about as close as you can get it. Two entirely different ways to play the game.
For complete college basketball coverage, go to cbs.sportsline.com. Victor at the line. 1 and 1.
He's the 60% free throw shooter. Lee in the ball game. Now, he has been exploding in the last 2 games. Hasn't done much here today. Senior player.
Comforting to have a man at the point who has, well, been on 3 straight teams that have played in the championship game. And look what, just as I say it, he palms it.
And Jim, that is that that offensive maneuver that so many guards use now with that hesitation. They get the ball in the palm and they just hesitate. Perfectly called by the official.
Wharton inside the lead. Tennessee by 2.
The breakdown there was created by the good pump fake by Wharton. He's got Prince on him, and I think he can do some things in that matchup.
Stolen away by Lee. Turner gives chase. Lee will wait for the rest of the team to
Smart
arrive.
play to pull it back out. And then Harris turns it over.
Turner survey.
Harris had to see more blue shirts than white shirts down there. Should have kept the ball back outside.
Turner banks it home.
That's his game.
His whole career at Kentucky, only 1 game he never got into. It was a 1996 national championship game at the Meadowlands. Anthony Epps played all 40 minutes. Turner had been a big contributor on that team all season long. Underneath.
Set play. Victor. Sensational pass.
4-minute mark. Volunteers by 2.
Turner looks like he's wanting to go and get into his patented dribble drive, get the ball inside 10, 12 feet and put it up.
What a time for this to take the lead.
Allison got caught with the back screen. Terrific set play by Tennessee.
Harris to Victor. The under 4 timeout. 57-55 Tennessee.
Jim, here's where we're going to see how that play developed. Isaiah Victor is going to set the screen. The ball's going to come out here. Bradley gets caught in no man's land. And when the stepped-up takes place, watch what happens in regard to Isaiah Victor. Bradley gets caught in no man's land. Great job by Harris. Nobody back. Victor goes to the basket. Well-executed offensive maneuver by Tennessee.
Tennessee trying to win the SEC Eastern Division and sweep the Wildcats for the first time since 1979, when in fact they beat Kentucky 3 times during that year. They won it rough this year for the first time in 20 years, did the Volunteers, 47-46. Another one coming down to the close today. Lee takes it away from McGlure. Harris drives.
Oh, Harris pushed off and got away with it.
Harris set up for a 3, squared up, got it. And now the Volunteers Musketeers are ahead by 5.
Boy, Harris showed some incredible concentration on that jump shot. 2 men running right at it. Turner wanting to go ahead and penetrate, get some scoring inside for himself.
They shut him off.
There he goes.
Yep. Partially blocked. Bradley was there. Too strong. Tipped in by McGlure, but over the back. They won't count it.
Torrey Harris with good blockout position there. Took up just too much space with that wide body for McGlure. There's Turner trying to get inside. Bradley, nice soft touch, doesn't quite get it. And there's that wide body, and he had McGlure on his back. Harris goes the line, just a 50% free throw shooter. He's only taken 22 fouls this entire year. Got that one. He laughs as he hits it.
Monday on CBS, all new Everybody Loves Raymond, some of the 1969 Miracle Mets. Special appearances. Ray and his brother meet their boyhood heroes. All right, one more for Harris.
Jim, it shouldn't surprise us how well these two teams are playing. In the last 7 years, the SEC has had more teams in the Final Four. They had multiple teams in '94 and '96. 8 teams out of 28 Final Four representatives in the last 7 years have been from the SEC.
That's strong stuff. Here's Evans to the basket. Oh, that would have been huge. But he'll go to the line with a chance to stop this Tennessee 6-0 run. All 6 of Evans' points in the first half. Look at the Wildcat losses this year to Pittsburgh, to Duke, Louisville, Tennessee, Florida, Alabama, Arkansas.
Evans was 1 for 9 against Tennessee in the first game. Has not come up real big here today. Isaiah Victor sits down. He's had a terrific second half. How good's that have to feel to be from Kentucky and be playing at Tennessee and be in the lead, huh? Playing a good game. Tough to double team this young guy. He is so quick with that ball.
Must be the same kind of feeling Tony Delk had when he would beat Tennessee.
Yeah, absolutely. Most outstanding player of that national championship team.
96.
Good offset by Harris.
Black. Prince got control of it just in time before it went out. 2:10 remaining. Smith with a 3 and a big one.
Great solid screen by Evans. Harris couldn't get over it.
Down to 2.
Smart play, throw it over the top of the press. He has some stamina too. He's been out here playing hard a long time.
.12 on the shot clock. Inside to Black. He'll have to earn his points at the line.
Prince thought he had it. Probably the foul with the body as much as it is with the hands here. But that was some pass by Harris. You see Black going up. Doesn't have great leaping ability. To be the #1 shot blocker in the history of Tennessee basketball, he is not a big leaper.
Let's see if Prince saved them a point or two with that play, with that foul. Black struggling today at the line.
Gee, and he's their best free throw shooter.
To make it a 3-point game. 62-59 Tennessee.
So surprised Turner isn't back out on the floor for this last minute.
Allison thought about taking the three.
Boy, look at Harris guard out there.
Smith steps in. Big back the roll. He's stepping up today. Down to one. 1 minute to go.
Good wise decision by Wharton. Nothing there. Kentucky had the advantage.
Harris with Evans on his back. A collision.
And
Evans
is right. Evans is saying, how is that not an offensive foul reaching around my back? We are seeing some great competitors out here today. Kids that really want to win. Here's where we're talking about. See, as he used the move to get Evans out of the way.
It'll be double bonus the rest of the way for Jerry Green's team. 2 shots for Harris. 78% shooter with 1 more.
Leading assist man on this team.
Soft roll. And a 3-point lead again.
Kentucky wants a time, or is it going to be Tennessee wanting it?
Jerry Green was signaling for a timeout. And Tennessee, in fact, is charged with it. Well, tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes. If you want to know who really wields power in Washington, look no further. It's a man named Tommy Boggs, the king of the lobbyists. Tonight on 60 Minutes, then Bill Cosby guest stars on an all-new Touch Fine Angel, followed by the CBS Sunday night movie Behind the Mask, starring Donald Sutherland and Matthew Fox. That's all tonight on CBS.
Jim, you go back to 98. Kentucky in the 98 was down at halftime 12 times and won 10 of those basketball games.
The comeback Cats.
All right. What will they do here? Tennessee only 1 more timeout left.
See if they can take a page from the 98 edition. Allison, 3-pointer.
Got a foul now.
Lead to Black, and Black will go back to the line again. 2 the rest of the way for Tennessee.
And who do they foul but the guy with the highest percentage?
But maybe a good guy to foul today. 2 of 6 at the line today.
Kind of surprised with that much time that Allison took the 3. He's had an excellent second half. But they can get a better shot than that. They had no need to even worry about a 3. Now this really changes the complexion of the game if he were to make even one of these. Turns it into a 2-possession game.
That's his best stroke of the day.
Tennessee has one Final Four man sitting over there in that bench, Eric Pauley. Remember him, captain of '93, Kansas club. Got to put it up quick now. But they don't need a 3.
Behind the back, too strong. Paget had the tip. And inside the whistle on Kentucky.
Paget needed to just catch that one, Jim, and put it in. There's a lot of time left for Kentucky. Had an opportunity there. They did not need the 3. Tennessee strong on the boards.
Paget has fouled out with 10 points, 3 rebounds. Corey Harris at the line for 2. 50% free throw shooter.
Here's a young guy starting for a team that has a chance to go a long way in the tournament. And the most shots he has taken in any game this year is 5. So he knows exactly what his role is and showed it again today. Rebound, block out, and guard somebody.
Missed them both. They're not out yet. Prince, three-pointer. They'll put this guy right back on the line. Torrey Harris. He just missed two. You think Wayne Turner wants to be in the game at this point?
I would think so.
.4 seconds remaining. Volunteers with one of the biggest home victories perhaps on the way. This would win the SEC Eastern Division, coming in tied with the Wildcats with an 11-4 conference record. Their first sellout in 8 years. Missed 3 straight.
Wharton out here kind of smiling. It's easy to smile when you've got that 5-point lead. He's just hoping his teammate can put one in.
Six-point lead. And a sub, Yarbrough in for Tennessee. Rashard Lee, a senior, celebrates his final home game. Hogan blocked, retrieves it, steps in. Tennessee's going to take it. Victor will go to the line. Kentucky will lose its 4th straight road game in the SEC.
Yep.
Kentucky's been to the championship game 3 straight years. 2 of them championship years, 96, 98. What about Kentucky right now to turn things around come March Madness? What do you think?
Jim, they don't have time to think about anything because the SEC, like the Big Ten this year, is going to have an incredible tournament. I'd have to say the Big East now is showing some depth as well. So they don't have any time to think about this game at all. They're capable of going a long way in the tournament, but those senior players, particularly Turner and Padgett, going to have to get this team really focused.
Saul Smith to let him go. Basket doesn't drop, and Tennessee with one of its biggest home wins ever.
It's a shame this school hasn't had anything to celebrate this year. They know how to do this.
You go home this summer, you talk to your high school friends. What kind of year did you guys have at Tennessee? Oh, well, we won a national championship in football.
Hey, their women are on the move to do the same thing.
And this bunch right here is going back to the tournament for the 2nd straight year for the first time since 1982-83. Chevrolet players of the game: Scott Padgett from Kentucky, Brandon Wharton of Tennessee. Chevrolet will make a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. They celebrate in Knoxville. They've won the SEC Eastern Division, beating the defending national champions. Tennessee basketball on the men's side is on the map. Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg coming up when we continue in a moment.